to another edition of the Silverbird Selection, and today I'm looking at a Silver Range release from 1987 called Imagination. And I've given this a rarity rating of uncommon, which basically means you can find a copy quite easily but not necessarily every day on eBay. My copy cost me £1.55, which I think means it came as part of a bundle. Let's check it out. Let's take a close look at the packaging then, and as you can see the front cover is the typical Silver Range packaging, quite colourful. There's a nice sort of, I don't even know what you call that, like a golden cylinder effect thing going on there. It's quite nice. It's got a Commodore 64 at the bottom there as well. The logo reminds me of a kids TV show, sort of thing like Rainbow and stuff like that, and it's kind of vanishing off into the distance in rainbow colours as well. Some symbols on the screen there as well, which will become more obvious what they mean in due course. It says Imagination on the spine as well, as you'd expect, and as you'd expect, a couple of screenshots on the back cover which clearly show that this is a text adventure with some graphics. And it says Imagination, a superb 4-in-1 graphic adventure. Inside we've got the familiar list of games from the Silver Range. We've seen this on many inlays before. Let's move on. Inside we've got the Silver Club application form. Again, let's move on. And it says here, Imagination, copyright Peter Torrance and Incentive Software, 1986. The introduction says, you love computer shops, there's nothing better than wandering the aisles of cassettes and discs and rushing home to play them on your micro. On one such expedition, from amongst a pile of games you find an old dusty disc with no packaging or even a label. Even the shopkeeper had no idea where it came from and let you have it for free. There was something strange about this disc. Never mind, there's only one way to find out. So yeah, that's an interesting introduction. So basically it says, have you ever imagined what it would be like to actually take part in the game you're playing? Put the disc into the slot, select your game choice, you'll actually find yourself pulled into the screen. Intriguing. And the quest says to answer the ultimate unimaginable question, the number of stars in the universe. Sounds challenging. And then at the bottom there, after the loading instructions, you've got a little bit of gameplay instructions, and it's, as you'd expect, it's a text adventure, so you've got things like using the keyboard to say go north, examine the screen, take the bucket, etc. Each of the 4 adventures within the main game are connected in some subtle and usually funny ways. That remains to be seen. If you wish to return to your cosy living room, just type pinch your arm and you will return to your senses. And there you go, that's the inlay. Interesting. Quite an intriguing text adventure. I'm not really a fan of them, as you know, but well, we'll see how it turns out. So here we have the loading screen. If you look in the bottom right hand corner there, it says Sir 87, which means it's another loading screen by Stephen Robertson, and like many of his loading screens, of which he did countless almost for the Firebird games, it looks pretty similar to the front cover artwork. The Imagination logo is quite similar. You've got the computer with the images on it, that's also quite similar to the front cover, and also a very nice Firebird logo sort of projecting from the screen. All in all, a pretty decent loading screen. Right then, the game is loaded, and as you can see you're presented with this grey screen, mostly grey, with an image of your character sat in front of his computer. There's no title screen, there's no credits, there's no music or anything like that. Not that you'd expect music from a text adventure necessarily anyway. So reasonably nice drawing, I suppose you could say. They've done the best they can. I believe this game was created with the Graphic Adventure Creator, which was a popular program back in the 80s for those of you that like to make graphical text adventures. So the introductory text says, you're sitting in your cozy living room minding your own business and just your warm micro for company. You can also see a keyboard, a monitor, a screen and a computer disk. Imagine your next move. And it's pretty typical text adventure stuff here, so let's have a look at something. Most commands can be shortened, so let's try exam monitor. It has a slot for a disk. Strange place to have a disk drive in the monitor, but okay. Let's try insert disk. The screen blanks, then lights up. Okay. Look. I know from playing this before, look just does a look at the whole environment that you're in. So let's try exam screen. Here we go. So you can see it says 4 things: 2002, A Very Odd Day in Space, The Lords of 9:30, Panic Miner 9000 and 99er, and Raid over Margate. So those of you that are keen retro gaming fans might recognise those names mostly as being derivative of some famous games back in the day. Lords of Half Past Nine is obviously a play on Lords of Midnight. Panic Miner, clearly Manic Miner. Raid over Margate is a play on Raid over Moscow. And 2002, A Very Odd Day in Space, is obviously more based on 2001, A Space Odyssey. So basically the idea is that there's 4 different games to play, 4 different adventures. You can type the name, or actually the number in words of the game. Why you can't just type the number, I'm not sure. Let's try that actually. Nope. As you can see there, it says, I didn't catch that, let your mind wander in some other ways. No, not that way, come back. So there's a bit of humour in the game here and there as well. So basically you've got to type the number of the game in and that will access the game, and there's basically 4 separate text adventures, but as I understand it, you can collect items in certain ones to use in the other ones, so you have to keep coming back to the screen and going into the other games. Let's see how we get on. Let's start with game number 1, which is 2002. So I'm clearly not going to read all this text to you as I'm playing the game. You can read it for yourself. Hopefully I'll leave it on the screen for long enough. But basically we've got, seems to be in a time machine, smaller inside than outside. Sounds like a TARDIS to me. You can see the AA Time Lord, a notice and a large lever. So let's start by reading the notice. If you break down during the adventure, call the AA or just go out into the garden, have a good scream and try again. Okay, well, let's try call AA, see what happens. Nope, didn't like that. Let's just try that. That's how it was depicted in the text. You can imagine it, but you can't do it. It says that, didn't catch that. Yeah, so basically that's not working, so let's see what else we can do here. So there's obviously the depiction of a hatch of some kind there. I don't really know what it means by this Time Lord thing, but let's see what happens. Okay, I'm the adventurous anonymous Time Lord. This is your quest. Find the missing computer part, grab the suit and make a start to float alone to the stars at last and find their number that's so vast. It did mention in the instructions in the inlay that you were supposed to count the number of stars in the universe or something like that. I'm not going to be progressing too much with any of these adventures. The idea is I'm going to have a little look around in each of them and then that'll pretty much be it, because I'm not really a text adventure fan. So let's try pulling the lever then, I guess, is the next thing. See what happens there. You dematerialize, you're falling in space. Obviously there's no sound in this game. I do think they always miss a trick with these text adventures, not having a bit of SID music playing in the background, even if it was just on occasional screens just to break the tedium a bit. I think that would be nice, but there you go, it doesn't have it, so that's that. You can imagine what number score it's going to get for sound. So I'm now in a small space pod, pretty nice depiction of a spacesuit there. You're at the edge of the universe which stretches in all directions. Okay, let's just try going north just out of interest. You can't do it. North, south. So it stretches in all those directions, but you can't actually travel in those directions. So there's also a grab arm and a spacesuit floating in space and a viewing window. So let's try use arm. You can imagine it, but you can't do it. Use grab. Nope. Grab suit. Nope, don't seem to be able to do any of those things at the moment. Let's move on. So let's have a look at the window. Okay, there are 2 windows. Enter view to change your viewing perspective. Okay, let's try that then. Okay, so I'm facing the hatch again now, it seems. So I'm close to the hull of a huge Jupiter planetary ship. A huge hatch is closed. You can also see a switch marked PAL and a button marked JET. Okay, let's start by pushing the button. No, that's not how you spell button, that's put 'em. testing out my typing skills here. Not typed much on the C64, well, since the last text adventure I played, I suppose. The pod moves slightly. Okay, see if that's changed anything. Not really, so let's try pushing the switch. Okay. Metallic voice says, I'm the PAL 9000 computer, but you can call me PAL. Would you like me to open the hatch or grab the spacesuit? So this is obviously a play on HAL 9000, or whatever it was called in 2001. Well, let's try grab suit again then. Shaky voice says error in line, whatever. I've forgotten how to do that. Okay then, so the other option was open the hatch. Slides open. Pod moves slightly again, and through the hatch. Building up the tension here, and we've now got a picture of another hatch basically. So I'm now in the Jupiter Deep Space ship. I wonder if that's a sort of nod to Red Dwarf. I think they were the Jupiter Mining Corporation. Bright metallic corridor leads south. You can also see a space pod and a closed hatch, which is obviously the stuff that I've already seen. So let's go south. And I'm in a corridor which is red. And I go south or east or back where I came from. So let's try going east. Okay, this looks like the control room. You can see a computer console. Let's have a look if we can use that. Can't do it. Okay, examine the console. There's a RAM board missing. Okay, that was mentioned by the Time Lord at the beginning there, I think. I've got to find that missing part presumably. So back to the corridor. South again. You can see a fire bucket. Let's take it. East. I think I've not been east yet. Okay, I'm in the ship's sleeping quarters. Lead east and west. You can see a bunk bed. Something interesting on the bunk bed. It's very slow to load some of these descriptions up. Okay, you can see a white pajama waistcord. May as well have it. Probably need it for something later. You take you where you think. Okay, let's check my inventory. So I'm looking around a fire bucket and a white pajama waistcoat, so I hadn't got anything in my inventory already. Always worth checking that in these things. I think I could go east again. So, or is that back where I started? No, I think this is a different place. I'm not sure. Let's go west again. Yeah, okay, I should have gone west again. And now I'm in another corridor, which I can go north and east. So, north. Is this the same place I've already been? I'm a bit confused. Yes, it is. I've got lost here, haven't I? Okay, so back in this corridor that I was in earlier when I thought I'd gone the wrong way. So I can go north and west. You can see a map of the Earth. Let's just go north. Enter the feeding compartment of the ship. There's an auto food dispenser. Let's press that button, see what we get. Nothing. Nothing happened, there's no power. Okay. Dispenser's a hard word to type. Nothing special. Okay, I'm already getting bored with exploring this ship. I've picked up a couple of items. Let's go back to the computer screen and try one of the other games. So to do that I have to type in pinch arm. That should put me back in front of my computer, and then we can have a look at one of the other games. So let's go with number 2. This was the Lords of 9:30, obviously a parody of the Lords of Midnight. So I'm standing on a frozen plain of mildew. stretching out to the north and east. I've never played Lords of Midnight, by the way, so I don't know if there's any funny references to the game in this. So I can go north and east. It's cold basically, and I can go north and east. So let's go north. Okay, here's a castle, pretty nicely drawn. The graphics generally not too bad, not a lot of colours in them. You know, it's as good as it's going to get with one of these kind of games, really. So I'm outside the citadel, and go south, east and west. I can also see the Sacred Bull of Mildew. Okay, let's have a look at him a bit more closely. He's got fierce red eyes. Okay, not much to do there, but let's try getting into the citadel. No, the bull does not want me to do that, so let's go north again. No, I can't go that way. I forgot which way I could go. South, east or west? Okay, east. Okay, I'm in a forest. Somewhat desperately cold. Knees knocking in the forest of frozen mildew. North and west are my options. Also see a yo-yo and the lonely child of mildew. Okay, let's try taking the yo-yo, I guess. Nope, the kid doesn't want me to. Talk child. The child says, I'm only happy when I scream. Scream at the child? No, let's just try scream. No, it doesn't like that. Okay. So I can't take the yo-yo. I could try punch child, I suppose. Nope, it's not happening. Okay, let's go north. More forests, different colours. The snow is melting slightly in between the foliage. Okay. Not much else to say. I can only go south. I'm kind of at the edge of the forest and I can't go any further. I assume the melting snow's got some implications, but let's have a look at that bucket I picked up. Maybe I could fill it with some snow. Fill bucket. Take snow. What's one of those? No idea. Okay, back south we go. And west. And west again. Okay, is this where I started? I can't remember. Icy cold winds, frozen marshes of snow worm, which stretch north and east. There's a shivering cow. Okay. Something interesting in the cow or on the cow. You're going to tell me what it is? Cow's udders. Okay. Milk cow. Here goes. Squelch, squelch. Nothing happened. The cow licks its lips. Okay. Let's just try that fill bucket again. Nope, it's not having that. Okay, so let's try cuddling the cow because he's cold. Or she actually, because she's got udders, so it's a she. Nope, not happening. I don't really know what to do. Let's try pull udders just in case that does something differently. Nope, can't do it. Okay, I mean I've got a bucket and I've got a cow. Seems like I should be milking the cow. Doesn't really seem to be working. So let's just have a look where I can go from here. My patience is already wearing a bit thin. I think I can go north, or is that where I came from? I'm not really sure now. So west. Is this new? I'm in the icy mists of snow worm stretching east and west. West again. Oh, it's all basically the same graphics but different colours. That's hard to read, black on that blue background. Icy mists again. The only way back is east. You can see a huge tower. Nope. don't really know. I can't get to the tower because I can't move in any other direction, so a bit stuck there. So that's enough of that one. Let's go back and try one of the other games. I may as well do number 3 next. This was Panic Miner. So this is a parody of Manic Miner done in a text adventure form. This could be interesting. It's probably better than Manic Miner, to be honest. So you're wandering around a maze of platforms. You can scroll smoothly east from here. You can also see the huge merging sprite of Spectra. The sprite approaches, you lose a life. Sounds like Manic Miner. So I assume you haven't actually got lives in the game, and that's just amusing interactive fiction, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm jumping smoothly along a maze of platforms, east to west. Another sprite approaches and I lose a life. Okay, east again. This is all very familiar. Okay, there's a ladder here, a pulsating ladder leading up. Lost another life. So climb ladder. Don't like the look of it one bit. Okay, fair enough. Let's just try it up. Nope, can't do that. You can see the sprite keeps approaching and I keep losing lives. I'm not really losing lives though. So I think I can go east again. Yep, another maze of platforms. East and west. Jumping, bouncing sprite of something. Lost another life. East again. You're in a huge sweltering hot cave with a rocky passage leading west. You can see a large poker and a pile of hot coals. Okay, let's try picking these things up. Nope. Take coals. Oh, I've taken the coals. Okay, I wonder if they're in the bucket then, because they're hot. So let's just check the inventory again. Yeah, so I've now got a fire bucket full of hot coal. I wonder if that's useful somehow in that cold landscape in the Lords of 9:30 or whatever they were called. Might go back there and check that out. I feel like having some hot coals in a place that's cold would seem a useful combination. Maybe I can warm up the cow. But I think that's it. I think that's as far as I can go in this at the moment. Yeah, I can only go back the way I came, so I'm going to head, in fact I'm just going to quit out. There's the only sound effect in the whole game, by the way, when you delete back to the cursor, end of the cursor, and you can't delete any further, you get a bleep. Okay, back to the main entry screen if you like, and I'm going to head back into the Lords of 9:30 or whatever it was called and see if I can use that bucket. Okay, then back at this screen here, and this is where the snow is melting slightly, so I'm going to try melting the snow again. Nope, that didn't work. Use coals. Nope. Empty bucket. Nope, it's not happening really, is it? Where can I go from here? I need to find that cow. That's my plan, is to see if I can warm the cow up. So where can I go from here? South. So I found the cow again. Let's see if I can warm the cow up. Nope. Use coals again. Nope, that didn't work. Let's just try milking the cow again. Nothing happens, and the cow licks its lips again. Heat cow. I can't remember what I've tried and what I haven't tried. Use bucket. No, it's not looking good again. I'm getting a bit bored now. this is my problem with text adventures, is sometimes they're just a little bit too cryptic and you don't make enough progress early on. So I'm just going to go back and try the last of the 4 games, have a quick look at that, see if I can get anywhere. So number 4 was Raid Over Margate, a parody of Raid Over Moscow, and here we are. I'm in the turret of a huge tank. I can see a gun, a tin of black camouflage paint. See, paint, fire gun, shell is stuck in the barrel. Take shell. Nope, doesn't like that. Okay, I think it said go out to leave the tank. Okay, western edge of an airfield near Margate-on-Sea. The path leads east. You can see a windsock, pile of loose earth, an RAF plane, a large war tank, and a long spade. Okay, let's take spade. Smell of dogs in the wind, by the way, as well. Dig earth. Something interesting. I'm waiting. Pair of RAF gloves. Okay, I may as well have them. Okay, windsock. There's a plane, so let's try enter plane. Okay, it's a depiction of the plane. There's a machine gun. A huge bull runs across the airfield in front of you. That's the second bull we've encountered in this game, along with the shivering cow. So let's try fire gun. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat. Missed. Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to lose interest. I'm sure you are too. Over 20 minutes of gameplay now and not really much has happened other than me picking a few bits and pieces up. You can go east within the plane. I'm in the cockpit. You can see a radio set, so use radio. No, exam radio. Something interesting again. Control knob, turn knob. Hello Adventurer 1, this is the author. Base captured by the Japanese, over and out. That doesn't really help. Let's just leave the plane again and explore a few more screens of this, and then I think we'll call it a day. So I can go east, and there's some guard dogs. Got to divert the dogs somehow. So look what I've got in the inventory. Gloves. Well, we could try throw gloves, I suppose, but it doesn't work. There's not really much in my inventory that's going to distract any dogs. I feel like if I get some milk from that cow, the dogs might like that or something, but it's all a bit too cryptic for my liking. So I think I'm going to call it a day at that point. Let's just try entering the base. I imagine the dogs are going to stop me. Yep, that's what I thought. So I think on that note, there's just a couple of things to try, as we always do with a text adventure. Try swearing at it, see what happens. Nothing for that one. Oh, didn't mean that. I'm sure it's going to be the same thing anyway. Yeah, and last but not least, yeah, nothing. It doesn't even like scold you for your bad language. So on that note, let's just go back to my computer, back to real life, so to speak. Pinch my arm, and let's get on with the review scores. So firstly, packaging, not too bad, not outstanding. The image on the front is quite attractive without being particularly great. The instructions were okay. It basically just told you some background and the fact that it was a text adventure. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 for packaging. Presentation, well, I mean, there's no title screen or anything like that. But it did have a nice loading screen, and the in-game presentation is pretty nice as well. If you were talking about presentation being the parser of the text that you're typing in, then I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to give it a 6 for presentation. Graphics, well, I wasn't expecting anything amazing. They're reasonably well drawn, they're limited in colour, lots of just sort of straight lines and a few filled boxes and things like that, but they're reasonably good to describe what's going on in the game along with the text. So I'm going to give them a 5. Sound, well, there is a bleep when you press delete, but I don't think that's really worth a score for sound, is it? No sound. Not really fair to judge these games on sound, but there is no sound really, so I'm going to give it a 0. And finally, playability, well, I like the idea of it. I like the idea that you're playing one of 4 different text adventures that you can jump in and out of as you please. There's obviously a bit of humour in it. The fact that you're supposedly able to take items from one game and use them in another is quite clever. So the premise of it, also the fact that it's, you know, a tribute, if you like, to various classic games that were actually not classics at that point, just likeable games of the time. I think it's all a very nice idea, but in the end it suffers from the same problems as all text adventures in my view, which is they're just not really much fun. There's a lot of typing stuff in and trial and error, and in this one particularly there wasn't really much progress. So I think, as I mentioned, the parser's good. It seems to be quite well designed, and the descriptions of the areas you're in are quite good with a bit of humour, but when you come down to it, it's just a pretty run-of-the-mill text adventure. So with all that in mind, I'm going to give it a playability score of 6, so not the worst text adventure I've ever played, but really nothing special. That gives it an overall score of 5.3, which is obviously skewed down somewhat by the sound score of 0. It's not worth $1.99. It wouldn't have ever been worth $1.99 for my money. I wouldn't have bought it being a text adventure. If you like text adventures, it might be pretty good, but it's just not for me. So there you go, that rounds up another game review. Not a game I was ever going to enjoy very much, but hopefully I've at least shown you enough of it to give it a fair crack of the whip. If you've got any thoughts about the game, then let me know in the video comments, and I'll see you in the next one very soon. Thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.